Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jai. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivara Dhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivara Dhari Gopi Yashoda Nandana Vrajāmi Ranjana Yashoda Nandana vrajāmi Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivara Dhari Gopi Jai Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivara Dhari Gopi Yashoda Nandana Vrajāmi Ranjana Yashoda Nandana Vrajāmi Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya. Jai Radha Kunja Vihari Jayam Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivrajākācārya Ashtottara Shri Srimad Bhai Charanaravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Śrīla Prabhupāda ki Iskan Sanstapakācārya Śrīla Prabhupāda ki Nitya Lila Pravishta Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur ki Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj ki Sachit Ananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur ki Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Shri Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj ki Gaudiya Vedanta Acharya Baladev Vidyabhushan Prabhu ki Shri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur ki Shri Narottam Das Thakur ki Shri Rup Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopal Bhatta Das Raghunath Shad Goswami Prabhu ki Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda ki Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gogopinath Shyam Kund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan ki Shri Vrinda Devi Ganga Devi Jamuna Devi Bhakti Devi ki Shri Vrindavan Dham ki Mathura Dham ki Mayapur Navadvip Dham ki Shri Jagannath Puri Dham ki Shri Dwarka Puri Dham ki Shri Ayodhya Puri Dham ki Shri Shri Krishna Balaram Mandir ki Shri Shri Krishna Balaram ki Shri 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 सीता राधा श्याम सुंदर ललित विशाखा देवी की, श्री श्री गौर निताई की, हरि नाम संकीर्तन की, गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। समावेत भक्तवृंद की, समावेत भक्तवृंद की, समावेत भक्तवृंद की, श्रील प्रभुपाद की। हरे कृष्ण। धन्यवाद। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयम् उदीरयेत् नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया। भागवतीत्युत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी। Srimad Bhagavatam, Skanda 10, Adhyaya 66 and Shloka 20. 20? Okay. त्याजयिष्ये bhidhānaṁ मे tvayājña mṛṣā dhṛtam vrajāmi śaranaṁ tedya yadi necchāmi saṁyugam. Is there responsively is done? Yeah. Okay, you can recite. Tyājayiṣye bhidhānaṁ me tvayājña mṛṣā dhṛtam vrajāmi śaraṇam tedya yadi necchāmi saṁyugam. Tyājayiṣye bhidhānaṁ me tvayājña mṛṣā dhṛtam vrajāmi śaraṇam tedya yadi necchāmi saṁyugam. Tyājayiṣye bhidhānaṁ me tvayājña mṛṣā dhṛtam vrajāmi śaraṇam tedya yadi necchāmi saṁyugam. Anyone else? No? Tyājayiṣye bhidhānaṁ me tvayājña mṛṣā dhṛtam vrajāmi śaraṇam tedya yadi necchāmi saṁyugam. My ladies, yeah. Tyājayiṣye bhidhānaṁ me tvayājña mṛṣā dhṛtam vrajāmi śaraṇam tedya yadi necchāmi saṁyugam tyājayiṣye bhidhānaṁ me tvayājña mṛṣā dhṛtam vrajāmi śaraṇam tedya yadi necchāmi saṁyugam. Over. Padapataha. Pada is word and pataha is reading the words, because that's what we're going to do. Tyājayiṣye, I will make you renounce. Abhidhānam, designation. My, yat, which, tvayā, by you, ajña, O fool, mṛṣā, falsely, dhṛtam, assumed, vrajāmi, I will go, śaranaṁ, to the shelter, your, adya, today, yadi, if, icchāmi, I do not desire, saṁyugam, battle. Translation and purport after Prabhupada, right? It's very short. O fool, now I shall make you renounce my name, which you have falsely assumed, and I will certainly take shelter of you if I do not wish to fight you. Purport. Śrīla Prabhupāda writes as follows, now, Paundraka, I shall force you to give up this false representation. You wanted me to surrender unto you. Now this is your opportunity. We shall now fight, and if I am defeated and you become victorious, I shall certainly surrender unto you. Okay. So, this story is very well known, right? Vasudeva Paundraka assumed that he was Vishnu. And he made, some false arms to show that he had 4 arms. Now Krishna, with the Sudarshan Chakra, cut off his head. That's coming up. Spoiler alert. Right? Spoiler. So, what do I think? There are many persons in Bharata, particularly here in Bharata is India, that claim to be God, right? Or as one of them said, I am God and you are God. I know I'm God and you don't know you're God. So this type of nonsense goes on. And it went on in the past, 5,000 years ago, and it will continue. It will continue. Why? What is the cause of that? So, Bhagavad Gita verse is there. Naham prakasha sarvasya yogamaya samavritaha. I am not manifested. Prakash. Prakash means light. Na aham. I am not manifested. Sarvasya, to all. Naham prakasha sarvasya yogamaya samavritaha. So I am covered by my own internal energy, internal Shakti. So we have been given some Shakti, the power to talk, the power to see. Some of us, the power is not so great, so we have to add more power. So there are many powers. Power to produce children, for grihastas, not for sannyasis, sorry. So these powers are limited powers. It's not all powerful. So the Supreme Lord is beyond the material energy. We are, because of this material energy, struggling, right? What is that verse? Struggling with the material energy in Gita. Prakriti kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvashaha. Ahankara vimudhatma kartaham iti manyate. So we're struggling prakritihi, prakritehe, kriyamanani, by the actions of the material nature. Gunai karmani sarvashaha. The gunas are doing everything. Rajogun, tamogun, and sattvagun. The spiritual platform, right? Brahma bhuta prasannatma nasochati nakangshati samaha sarveshu bhuteshu mad bhaktim labate param. After you become free, sagunan samatitya etan gunam, these three gunas, you have to go beyond them to attain the absolute truth, or attain the highest position, beyond the gunas. Sagunan samatitya etan. Atitya, go beyond, cross over. Etan gunan, rajogun, tamogun, sattvagun, mode of ignorance, passion, and goodness. But because of this ahankara, we feel that we are doing it, and I am wonderful, and I am God. Paundraka. I am Vasudeva. I am Vishnu. But Vishnu Shakti, the energy of Vishnu, is unlimited. It's not limited by a material body. So sadly, people claim to be God, and thousands of people may follow them. Thousands of people. And they'll all say, He's God, He's God. So it's sad state of affairs. How can it be stopped? In modern democracy, it's not possible, because everyone is given freedom of thought. Prabhupada recognized that great quality, freedom of thought. This is a preaching mission, right? Pranachayar sehetu prachar. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur said our mission is to do prachar. But if there's no freedom of thought, how can you do prachar? It's difficult. Difficult. It's difficult anyway. Difficult anyway. Why is it difficult? That also Gita explains that pravrittim cha nivrittim cha na jana vidurasuraha. Those who are asuras, they don't know what to do and they don't know what not to do. So Pauṇḍraka is an example of one of the asuras. He didn't know that he should be a servant of Krishna. Yesterday, somebody mentioned, I think it was in the program in the evening, in the Goshala, which is a famous, verse from Chaitanya Charitamrita, Jiver Swarup Hoy Krishna Nityadas. The original position of the Atma, original position of the soul is to serve Krishna. But due to ahankar, you have Paundраkas, you have people who claim they're God. So part of our mission, preaching mission, tyājayiṣye hetu prachāra, is to destroy this idea that the Atma is actually the Paramatma. And Adi Shankara's Advaitavad, which was a time and circumstance ideology, because the time was that India had become Buddhist. Right? The whole India had become Buddhist. And Buddhists and Jainas are Shunyavadis. Every day we say this nirvishesha Shunyavadi. Shunyavadi believes that the soul exists temporarily. And if you annihilate the soul, you attain Brahma Nirvanam is mentioned in Gita. Right? Brahma Nirvanam, these words are in Gita. But their concept of that Brahma Nirvanam is nothingness, shunya. So there's a difference in concept. Looking very similar. Karma Siddhanta, the theory of action and reaction, Buddhists accept it. And the Advaitavadins, they also accept it. So Advaita, difference between Buddhists and Advaitavadins is the acceptance of Vedas. That's the difference. And those who accept Vedas, they're our cousins. Yeah. The Advaitins, if they accept Vedas, they're our cousins. Then we can discuss with them. Ishavāsyamidam sarvam. Everything is owned and controlled by Ishvara. They believe in Ishvara. We believe in Ishvara. Buddhists do not believe in Ishvara. Anishvarvadi. Their concept is there is no Ishvara, no supreme controller. So, prachar, pravritti, the action of preaching, is to convince the nirvisheshvadis, the Advaitins, and the Shunyavadis, the Buddhists and the Jainas. And then we have plenty of Jains who follow ISKCON. They're born into families of Shunyavadis, but they don't accept it. So we have to convince them. How do we convince them? Shastra Charcha, by discussing Shastras. But now Buddhists say they gave up Vedas, Vedic literature, Mahabharata, Ramayana, Puranas, of course Vedas themselves, they don't accept. We have to convince them, just like we were convinced. At least we were convinced somewhat. What were we convinced? Westerners, I mean. Hindus already are taught from the childhood that Ramayana is true, Mahabharata is a true story, it's a factual history. And Vedas are true. And those who don't accept, they're either Nirvisheshvadis accept, Advaitins who follow Adi Shankara accept Vedas as pramanam, evidence. But due to ahankar, they feel I am Vishnu. If you worship, they have Panchopasana, followers of Adi Shankara, right? Shiva, Vishnu, Durga, Ganesh, and Surya. Although you don't see much Surya Upasana in temples. Few. But Ganesh temple, Shiva temple, Durga temples, thousands. And Vishnu temples. But their concept is that all of these deities, these devatas, are material. And when you attain Brahmabhuta Prasannatma Nasochati Nakangshati, they come to that platform of Brahma, but they feel there's nothing beyond that. But Brahmabhuta Prasannatma Nasochati Nakangshati Samaha Sarveshu Bhuteshu Mad Bhaktim Labhate Param. There they couldn't accept, at least Advaitins, couldn't accept that bhakti is beyond Brahmabhuta, Sayujya Mukti. Brahmabhuta means Sayujya, Brahma Sayujyam. So they're enamored by that, and they feel by worshipping Shiva, Durga, Ganesh, ultimately the soul will, merge into Brahma Nirvanam. When Krishna kills Paundraka at the end of this story, so his soul, Atma, came out of his body and went into Krishna. So there are a lot of Mayavadis Mayavadis means Advaitins who follow Adi Shankara, who believe that this story teaches that the soul becomes Vishnu, the soul becomes the Paramatma. When this temple was opened, it's almost 50 years ago, right? It's coming up 50th anniversary. There's a picture, Prabhupada was here, and sitting next to him was Swami Akhandananda Saraswati. Akhandananda Ashram. It's not so popular now, but used to be very well known here in Vrindavan. And Akhandananda Saraswati, in his Grihastha Ashram, translated Srimad Bhagavatam from Sanskrit into Hindi. I think his name was Dubey or something. I can't remember his Grihastha Ashram name, but he was a great scholar. And Prabhupada invited all the leading, sadhus of Vrindavan to the opening of this temple. That doesn't mean that Prabhupada accepted his Advaita Vedanta. Now in that translation, there is no Advaita. The Advaita comes in the commentary. Many years ago, there was a very great scholar who was a grihastha till the last minute of his life. He took sannyas and was given Jal Samadhi in Narmada River. You might have heard his name, Ramchandra Dongre Maharaj. I don't know, Gujaratis would have heard his name. Very popular. He gave Gujarati and Hindi lectures. He knew thousands of shlokas, thousands. So Jaswamati Nandan Prabhu and I, we went to hear his lecture in Anand. That's 1983. And he said in the lecture, Gopi Krishna, Gopi Krishna, Gopi Krishna bani gaya. The gopis became Krishna. Kirtan, Kirtan, Karte, Karte, Krishna Sate, Leen Tayuche. Krishna, they merged into Krishna. So Advaitins accept Srimad Bhagavatam, but their understanding is contaminated by Nirvisheshvad. So Vasudev Paundraka was also contaminated. He thought, I'm Vishnu. He was foolish enough to challenge Krishna directly. And when his soul went into the body of Krishna, what happened? Did he become Krishna? No. That's not our Vaishnav Siddhanta. But Advaitins will say like that, yeah, he became Krishna. So this is the difference between the Advaita Siddhanta and Vaishnav Siddhanta. Jiver Swarupoi Nitya Krishna Das. So 5 types of mukti, right? Salokya, Sayujya, Samipya, Sarshti, and Sayujya. So one Sayujya, you merge into the body, means the effulgence, Prabhupada explained. You heard this? So that's what happens to Paundraka types. Only Putana was given a Samipya Mukti and accepted as a mother in Vaikuntha, Goloka. Na tad bhasayate suryo na shashanko na pavakaha yad gatva na nivartante tad dhamma paramamama. Same Gita, Brahma Nirvanam is mentioned, Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma, and tad dhamma paramamama. I have a supreme abode. So the goal of Vaishnavas may not even to be attain that supreme abode. At least Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Vaishnava, followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they prayed that, right? Na dhanam na janam na sundarim kavitam va jagadisha kamaye. Mama janmani janmani ishware bhavatat bhaktihi ahaitu tvayā. So Mahaprabhu's Shikshastakam, I don't want material pleasure. Dhanam, janam and sundarim is material pleasure. Wealth, followers, many women. I don't know for women if there's an opposite for that, because I know, everybody wants to be equal, but there used to be kings with many wives, but queens with many husbands, only Draupadi. And that was a very exceptional case. How many queens did Dasarath have? This is a trick question. Yeah, you say 3, right? Kaushalya, Sumitra, and Kaikeyi. But in Valmiki Ramayana, 350. These were the Pataranis, just like Krishna had 16 main wives, Pataranis, but he had 16,108. But Krishna didn't have the most wives, although, we like to say that. And there was a court case in Poland, right? You heard that story? How many people know the story of the court case in Poland? It's interesting. She knows. So for the rest of you, there was a Prabhupada disciple. He had actually left ISKCON and was preaching on his own. This is many, many years ago. He's no more. He passed away a long time ago. So one of his followers was a young lady, and her mother became very angry that she became a devotee. So she went to a Christian nun, and the nun said, "We'll take them to court. Let's go. We'll get your daughter back from these, Hare Krishna cultists." Filed a case in the court. So in the court, this Christian nun, she told the court, "These immoral people have a God who has 16,108 wives. Just see the immorality. This girl should be given back to her mother." So then the judge said, turned to the devotee, said, "What do you have to say to this?" So that devotee said, "Ask that nun what vow she took when she became a nun." So the judge asked her, "What vow did you take?" Right? So she said, "I can't say, it's secret." So the devotee said, "The vow is that only Jesus will be my husband. So Jesus must have many thousands and thousands of wives." So then the judge said, "Case dismissed." That was the end of that. Who had more wives than Krishna? From the Bhagavatam. Sit. Huh? Chitraketu. 100% correct. Thank you. Anyway, so Vasudeva Paundraka wanted to imitate Krishna. Krishna could have so many wives. Acha, we were at Mahaprabhu's Shikshastakam, right? I don't want so many wives. I don't want to enjoy. Not only Dasarat or Chitraketu with his, Chitraketu was 1 crore, 10 million wives. How much can you enjoy? Oh, but he had 100,000 years of life, so he could enjoy. But Mahaprabhu said, I don't want this material enjoyment. Dhanam, janam, we all want dhanam, I think. I don't know. We all rejoice when we get some money. So dhanam, janam, sundarim, very difficult to give up. Mama janmani, 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 janmani. You know, in Sanskritam, Sanskritam, not Sanskrit, Sanskritam. If you want to stress something, you say it twice. Even in Hindi you have that, right? Janmani, janmani, many janmas. Gita says that also, right? Bahunam janmanam ante. After many janmas, there's another one, right? Bahuni me vyatitani janmani. Janmani, bahuvachanam, plural. We both took many janmas. So this concept of, actually everybody knows they're going to die. Everybody. Jatasya hi dhruvam mrityor. Everyone knows that death is certain. But the next verse, dhruvam janma mritasya, that they don't accept. That is not accepted, that when you die you get reborn. That is not accepted by atheists. So, mama janmani janmani ishware bhavatat bhaktira haituki tvayā. All I want is to serve you. So I don't want sayujya, which is what Paundraka attained. I don't want even samipya, salokya, sarshti and sarupya. I don't want liberation. So how to understand that? Yesterday Maharaj was talking about dharma, artha, kama and moksha. Right? You were there, Maharaj, right? Bhakti Vigyan Maharaj was talking. There are 4 aims of life, and then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Prema Pumartho Mahan. Prema is the highest aim. But what is dharma? Do we know? Do we know? Can I make this interactive, President Prabhu, with your permission? No, interactive means, what is dharma is a question. When in the 4 aims of life, dharma, artha, kama and moksha, religiosity, economic development, sense gratification and liberation. What does dharma mean? What does religiosity mean? Can anybody tell me? Service to Krishna. Pardon? I couldn't hear. We don't have a portable mic. Oh, there is. Sorry, my hearing is a bit weak.
Dharma has many meanings according to different persons. But
Yeah.
you see, beauty according to vrajāmi is also in the religions.
Very close to what I was looking for. But shall I just say it then, instead of asking everybody? Pardon? Instructions of the Lord. What I'm looking for, it's very close, is vedadhyayanam. Vedadhyayanam means study of Vedas. Without study of Vedas, how can you know what is dharma? How can you know? When Bhakta Prahlad Maharaj says, Kaumara acharet pragineha, what did it mean? No, forget about that. When Krishna and Balaram went to Mathura, killed Kamsa, what happened after that? They met Vasudeva and Devaki. What happened after that? Upanayana sanskar. Gargamuni. Not Gargamuni, Gargamuni. It's a joke among God brothers, right? Garga Muni gave them Upanayana Sanskar. Then what happened? Where did they go? They left Mathura, they left Vrindavan. They didn't go to Dwarka. Where did they go? Avanti. Avanti. Today it's called Ujjain. What did they do in Avanti? Sandipani Ashram. What did they study in Sandipani Ashram? It's right here. Maybe it's in the same book. It isn't. It's in the volume before this. I would have read it. 1045, you can make a note. I think some people are taking notes. 1045, 33, 34, 35, and 36 describe what Krishna and Balaram studied in Avanti. Vedas. I'm telling you now what's there. Vedas, Vedangas, Upanishads, Anvikshikim, Maharaj, you heard that? You don't remember? Right in the Bhagavatam. It's a Tarka Shastra, Nyaya Shastra, you can say. Remember that Nimai Pandit? What was he a Pandit of? Nimai Pandit was a Pandit of Nyaya Shastra. And Dhanurvedaha. What is Dhanurvedaha? Military science. Dhanuhu, bow. And the 64 arts. I might have missed something. But these are in those verses. So, in order to know what is dharma, maybe I didn't ask the question properly, what is dharma, but to know dharma, you have to study Vedas and Vedic literature, particularly Vedas, Vedangas, and Upanishads, according to the Bhagavatam, not according to me. I'm just sitting here telling you what's in the Bhagavatam. Then you can go for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was a Pandit, then he went for Dhanarjanam, collection of funds. Right? That's the story. And when he was in Bangladesh, East Bengal, his wife died, Lakshmi Devi. Right? That's the story. He went to collect wealth. Now, how did Pandits collect wealth? Because Rajas, they used to give, right? Like Danavir Karna. The kings were charitable to Brahmins. The other story is like that here, right? Krishna, Arjun, and Bhima went to Jarasandha dressed as Brahmins. And then he said, what do you want? He couldn't recognize them. But he saw the marks of the bow on their shoulders. Still, they had the dress of Brahmins, so he said, what do you want? I'll give you my life also. That was a Raja, Vedic Raja. Of course, he's also considered an Asura. But he followed Vedas, and they said, we want to fight with you. Fine, fight. No, you two, you cannot fight with me. Krishna, you ran away from me so many times. Ranachod. Ranchorji in Gujarat, we have Ranchorji. I don't know who visited Ranchorji. Okay, good. So Ranachod, he gave up the battlefield, ran away. So he said, I can't fight with this Krishna. And Arjun, he's Bhima, I'll fight with him. How am I doing on time? Because I don't have a watch. Huh? It's 8:50, and this, is there a strict? That's the joke. See the time? Cut. So, now where will the Brahmins go? They want gurus are Sandipani type, teach Vedas to the children. That's Vedic Gurukul. having big discussion about Gurukul in Mayapur right now. What is Gurukul? Gurukul, Krishna showed the world. Krishna showed the world. Shrinvatam Swakatha Krishna. Hear the stories of Krishna. So one of the stories was studying in Avanti. So to know dharma, you have to study Vedic literature. But now we're proud. MA, BA, PhD, IIT, IIM, etc. That is not the standard of education according to Bhagavatam. Standard of education according to Bhagavatam is Vedas, Vedangas, Upanishads, Anvikshikim, Tarka Shastra. Standard of education. If you get all of this, and if it's proper, then Advaita was a commentary, came much later. And those commentaries were replied to by our Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya, and Baladev Vidyabhushan, Gaudiya Vedanta Acharya. And our idea of Mahaprabhu, Mama Janmani Janmani, birth after birth, Bhavatad Bhaktihi. So bhakti, there are many types of bhakti. The gopis are the topmost bhaktas. They didn't do Vedadhyayanam. That's a fact. That's a fact. But if you want to have a Varnashram society, then you have to have Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. You cannot, if someone imitates the gopis, he's called a sahajiya. Pretending to be a great devotee is cheating. Oh, Vasudev Paundraka. Pretending to be Vishnu. So you can pretend to be Vishnu, you can pretend to be a great devotee. It's all nonsense. It's not the essence of the teachings. So there's a Vedic concept how to live in this world. But Vaishnava Siddhanta concept that I want to serve Krishna. But then the whole Gita is that Arjuna is serving Krishna. Right? Krishna wants him to fight. And Arjuna said, no, I don't want to fight. Na yotsya iti govindam. Na yotsya, I won't fight. Na yotsya iti. Govindam, adi purusham tamaham vrajāmi, to Krishna. These words were spoken by Arjuna. I don't want to fight. And the whole Gita is Krishna, what's that word in English? Prerana. Inspiring him. Instructing him, inspiring him, fight. The whole thing is to fight. And at the end he fought. So that was his bhakti. Right? Bhishma's bhakti was to fight with Krishna. Against Krishna. That was, Krishna took pleasure in fighting with Bhishma. And here he fought with this, it was hardly a fight, right? Krishna took Sudarshan Chakra, cut off his head, and it was over. Pretending to be Krishna. Pretending to be Krishna, Krishna gave him, what is it? The death sentence. Death sentence. Cut off his head. Hare Krishna. I should leave some time for questions. Yes, President Prabhu has a question. There are a number of questions. Co-President Prabhu has a question. Some ladies have questions. Okay, where's the mic? First, oh, you got it.
Being Kali Yuga and all of us being not so intelligent, and Lord Chaitanya is stating about just Harinam, 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 Sankirtan. and Vyasadeva providing Srimad Bhagavatam, and Śrīla Prabhupāda giving us the essence of the Vedas. So how much should we venture out to actually study Vedas when we can hear Bhagavatam or hear from Śrīla Prabhupāda's lectures and also the shelter of his society? Feeling that, gee, I'm not very scholarly. I can't handle Puranas and Vedas and Itihasas. So everything's been provided for us. So I think maybe we'll emphasis should be put on that as well.
You know, there were two analogies given by, I think, Ramanujacharya, that, you know, there's the monkey analogy and the cat analogy, right? The baby monkey grabs, we see that every day here. Yesterday I was visiting Prithu Prabhu in the Vani ashram, and so many monkeys with their children, they ran by me, at least 5. You know, so the baby monkey has to grab on. And then there's the cat analogy, where the cat grabs the kitten in the mouth. So the grab on analogy is we should study Shastras in order to get liberation, and the cat is Krishna will take us, right? So both of those analogies may be true. Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mamupayanti te. Fine. Do bhakti and Krishna will give you the intelligence by which you can come to him. However, you know, there's a statue on the altar and over there of our founder Acharya. And his instruction was to create a Vedic society. Now, I agree personally, I mean my own opinion, this is my humble opinion, that, yeah, when we're old and how we're going to do study of Vedas, because study of Vedas is done in the childhood. Kaumara acharet pragyaha. If you're intelligent, and that study was for boys only, not for the girls. And the Gurukuls we read, you know, it's all the boys, Krishna, Sudama, and Balaram. They were actually a little older. You're supposed to start at 5 or 8. So why Prabhupada made a Gurukul? This whole talk is going on in Mayapur. You may not be aware of it, or you may be aware of it anyway. So you know that Prabhupada started Gurukuls. So he wanted the children to be educated. So when you're educating the children, should we follow what Krishna did in the Bhagavatam, or should we have a modern educational syllabus? This is theoretical because, you know, it's beyond, it's like some of us didn't want Trump to become the president. He became president yesterday. So it's not in our control. Same way any politics all over the world. Oh, and how to educate the children is a philosophical topic. Time is up. How to educate children is a philosophical topic. And we're not going to resolve it in 5 minutes here. But my proposition is that it should be like Krishna set the example for how children should be educated by his own education. He didn't need to go to the Sandipani, right? He's Lord Vishnu. He's the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Hare Krishna, Basu Prabhu, you asked us what is dharma.
Right.
According to the Jaiva Dharma, the book of Śrīla Prabhupāda Thakur, there cannot be many dharmas. There's only one dharma. He says, unalloyed Krishna prema is the pure, true, and original dharma of the jiva. So, as you were saying also, these are the challenges. Just a little bit of clarification I want to know from you. That real dharma is to study the Vedas. But what is the goal of studying of the Vedas? Which is
Krishna praying.
Vasudeva, for attaining love of God. So my question is, not many can go to Gurukul. So what is the chance for them going along with Panchagoda Prabhu? How are they going to attain love of God? Which is the purpose of studying the Vedas. And not many can go to study the Vedas. And many stories also in the Shastras, they did not study the Vedas, but they attained love of God. Yes? It's like the Brahmana who's studying the Bhagavad Gita, and he's illiterate. It's upside down.
See, can I say the answer now?
Yes, sir.
With your permission. These things are not incompatible. Right? There's an ideal form of human society, varnashram, that's again and again in the Bhagavatam. I didn't make it up. You understand? Same time, Jagai and Madhai were from Brahmin families, and apparently they didn't study Vedas. Ajamil studied Vedas and he became corrupted, but he still got liberation. So all of it applies. Hiranyakashipu got liberation because Vishnu killed him. But see, all of these examples don't, like, if you say we shouldn't study Vedas, then stop selling the Ishopanishad. I'm not saying you, I'm just saying. See, this system of study of Vedas was given by Krishna. Krishna himself underwent this Vedic sanskara with Garga Muni, not Garga Muni, and 5,000 years ago. I'm joking, as you know. And he studied Vedas. So he set the example for human society. Now, those Brahmana, Kshatriya and Vaishyas can study Vedas. Here's a very good story, Prabhupada memory. There was a boy here, I won't mention his name, but 50 years ago, he was a boy. And Prabhupada took him, he wasn't a good student. And so Prabhupada personally took him to Hyderabad and said, if you can't study, work on the farm. You heard about the Hyderabad farm. So yes, study of Vedas is not for everyone. If you can't study, work on the farm. In 1974, this was 76 December, when Prabhupada took the boy from the school here, who was a bad student, and put him on Hyderabad farm, work on the farm. In 74, who was here in 74 before the opening? Anybody here? Shrutikirti Prabhu. Nobody else? Just us two, Prabhu. You may remember that Prabhupada shocked all the devotees by telling them you have to stay 1 more month in India. Nobody planned for that. Changing tickets was free. It was a long time ago. You didn't have to pay $250 or whatever, right? And so he split the 400 devotees that had come into 2 groups. One group he told, go to Mayapur to learn Varnashram. I'm not making this up. Is this true? You remember? You don't remember? 50 years ago. I remember very clearly. Because I was put in the group to go to Mayapur to learn Varnashram. But I ended up going to Bombay with the other 200 to perform satyagraha, to protest the sheriff of Bombay giving a letter that the kirtan at Juhu was a nuisance. You know this story? You don't know the story. Okay. Yeah. Your hand is up.
Śrīla Prabhupāda for a little while. In 1973, in 1974,
75 while I was with him. The only books I ever saw read were his books. And in all of those years, he called me in his room. He was alone in his room reading his books. One time it was Bhagavad Gita, another time Nectar Devotion, another time Krishna book. And each time he called me into his room and said, if you just read this one book, you can be Krishna conscious. You don't have to read hundreds of books. You don't have to read so many books. Just this one book. He did it on 3 different occasions over 3 years in 3 different temples with 3 different books. And the last time it was Krishna book. And as I sat before him, he said the exact same thing each time. You don't have to read so many books, just this one book. Then he continued to look at me. He said, you don't have to read the whole book. If you read one chapter from this book, you can become Krishna conscious. He continued to look at me. He said, you don't even have to read the whole chapter. Just one page in this book, and you can become Krishna conscious. It's so nice. He kept looking at me. He said, you don't even have to read the whole page. Just one line in this book, and you can become Krishna conscious. I sat there the whole time. He kept looking at me the last time, and he said, you don't even have to read the whole line. Just one word in this book, and you can become Krishna conscious.
Haribo!
So, from what I saw, Prabhupada was very, very keen on us reading his books, because he had the conclusion of all the Vedic Shastras and condensed it into every one of his books.
Well, what I said about Krishna and Balaram and studying in Vrindavan is in Prabhupada's books. And
We're not Krishna and Balaram. We went to the
no, they said in
Prabhupada came to the
no,
West,
they
and he taught.
yeah, you're not in the West now, you're in Vrindavan. Oh, another thing, I'll tell you, read one purport, 9, 10, 50 in the Bhagavatam. Just read that one purport. You'll see. 9, 10, 50, whoever can write it down and read that. It's basically, it says varnashram dharma
I agree with
is
you.
dharma.
Varnashram dharma, Gurukul, Val-
What I was doing was reading Prabhupada's books and repeating it here.
We're agreeing with you. See? We end on a positive note.
Sure, sure. Okay. I guess the time is up. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Haribol. Vaishnavebhyo